Good morning, afternoon. This sun is really bright. Is that better? That's better. Welcome. My name is Julie. Silver Stitches here on FlossTube and on Instagram. I'd like to welcome you to my latest FlossTube episode. So today is Sunday, May 10th, 2026, and FlossTube is a channel all about cross stitch. I've worked on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only 7 things this week, but I put in a lot of work on most of them. So, sorry if I'm crooked. The camera, anyways, is what it is. I'm just going to reach in front of the camera and grab a drink. So, what did I work on this week? So, I ended up working on 7 different items, 7 different works in progress, and one finish. Okay, so we'll start with the most progress. For this work in progress, it was Autumn Fairies by Karen Middleton of Heaven and Earth Design. It was a freebie. It is retired. Karen Middleton is no longer with Heaven and Earth Design, and it was from way back when. So I put in 2,000 stitches into this one. Last it was at 10,000 stitches. Now it's at 12,000 stitches. So I have 6,500 stitches left to go. I went from 54.05 to 64.86. And look at what I did. So most of this, I finished his face this week. I filled in a lot. I filled in all of that, and then I was working in this section down here. So I did a whole lot of work on pretty much this half of the chart. Next week, or right now, when I edit, I'm going to add in how many colors I have left, because I've been checking off numbers like there's no tomorrow. So that's great. I can't tell you right now because no idea. But so far so good, right? 2,000. I did 1,000 over a couple days, and then I did the other 1,000 just yesterday. All in one day. Look, I can touch the wall. That's exciting too. Okay, so next up is Mini Beginner Seashell. If you don't know, I go in alphabetical order just so that my brain works better. And here we go. So Autumn Fairies. Let's go back. This is on 14 count. Creamy white Ada. I don't know. This one is on an 18 count or 16 count white Ada. All of these things, except for one thing today, will be on Ada. Some form of count of Ada. But anyways, this is not as impressive. I just wanted to round this one up to the closest 1,000. So I went from 16,941 to 17,000. This is Mini Beginner Seashell by Kayomi Harai. It is still available on the Heaven and Earth Design website. You can also get it in a few different varieties of formats. So just 59 stitches, but it did get me up to 17,000. So I worked somewhere in here. I can't tell you where, but somewhere in the blues. I was also color completing as I went, so I might have done a little bit of this, maybe, but it was primarily in the blues to finish off some of the blues. Yeah. So this one is currently at 67.20%, and it has 8,298 stitches left to go in this little space. So this is the bottom, for those of you who are new. Welcome, if you are new. Thank you for coming back if you're not. Glad to see everybody. All right. Next up is, gotta scroll down on my spreadsheet. Hold please. You know they're sitting right beside me. Okay, so this is QS Hazel's World Giraffe. It's by Dakota Dateweiler, and this is the Heaven and Earth design version. And if you want to find the full version of it, Dakota Dateweiler is currently on Charting Creations. So I put in 200 stitches for this one. It went from 11,440 to 11,640, 46.95% to 47.77%. And currently I have 12,726 left. So I worked on this one today. I did watch Chris the Meadow Stitcher, and this is his parking method. I love how he calls these icicles. That makes me that was great. If you haven't watched him yet, then go check him out. I have not finished to the bottom yet, so I'm just working on diagonals by two block diagonals, because for my little phone, that's all that I can see comfortably without thinking, oh my goodness, I'm stitching the whole line. All right, the next one is a finish. So the next one, it was a very old work in progress, and I just wanted it finished, and it's a whole lot of words, and I posted it on Instagram and on a few other Facebook groups. Anyways, this is on a light blue 14 count piece of Aida, and it went from 5,834 at 95.11% to 6,134 at 100%. So I put in 300 stitches into Never Quit by Stitchery Stitch. I'm pretty sure this is a retired chart because I don't think the shop is there anymore. But yes, it's all done. I ended up putting the 300 stitches into the rest of the V, the E, and that N. Even though I can tell you right now probably that N is counted wrong, but I don't know how. I don't know. Anyways, ta-da! It took me far too long to stitch because it was only 6,000 stitches, right? So, I was hung up on this today's another day for a long time because today was not stitched in, or actually what had happened was I started with another and then I worked my way over to today. But today's wasn't stitched in properly, so I held off for a very long time, couple years, just to hang on to it and say I'll get back to it. But yeah, no, it's done now, so that's good. One less thing in my work in progress pile. Doesn't mean I started anything because I didn't. It'll go back into this bag, but this bag now will hold see you later, because that's the only thing that will fit. Okay, next up is Pokemon starters, I'm pretty sure. Yes, Pokemon starters. I went from 8,000 stitches to 8,100 stitches, so I put in 100 stitches. Went from 43.34 to 43.88. It has currently 10,358 stitches left, and this is on an 18 count piece of platinum or titanium or some kind of color like that. And here we go. So I don't know where we are. Let's try and no, gotta take that. You think you're ready and then you're not. Okay, so here we go. This is the whole thing so far. This time I worked, so this is the whole thing. This time I worked over here. I finished filling in his face now that it's on camera. Charmander looks like he should have those colors eyes, but when I was stitching him, I was like, are they really this color? I can't really, but he looks right now. And then I stitched a little bit in here and then a little bit down here. Made Cyndaquil's head round. Yep, that was 100 stitches. I also did that this morning because I felt really bad with only showing you like 3 projects. So almost monogamous May. Mostly monogamous May because going forward, it's going to be a whole it will be plans. I'll tell you in plans. I will tell you in plans. There's going to be like 6 projects maybe. That's it per week. Going forward. Okay, what's next? What is next? 9.05, 5100. Okay, so next is, it went from 8.87 to 9.05. This is mini Sunflower Cottage, good grief, by Amy Stewart. That's a lie. Mini Sunflower Cottage by Donna Gelsinger. Let's try that again. Yes, so went from 8.87 to 9.05, and I put 100 stitches in, so it went from 5,000 to 5,100. And Skitters is going to join me. Did you see him jump across the thing? And you can see his tail, but he's sitting on all the stuff that I need to show you next. Okay, so, right. I currently have 51,255 stitches left on this one, but that's okay, because it's okay. So, I've started stitching across the top on this one. There's still 2 or 3 more blocks of the blue left to go, but I worked in here. I finished a little bit of this, and then I worked in here. So that's 100 stitches. Nope. I really just did this in here. Anyway, but this is the full thing. This is on a loops and threads 14 count, so this is massive. Okay, so there is 1 work in progress left. I did start it last week, so if you missed last week, I will tell you all about it again. But, so in May, I decided that I wanted to, what did I decide? I decided I wanted to listen to the Pendragon series again by DJ McHale. It's a young adult, kind of sci-fi, kind of fantasy series. So I'm on book 1. There are 10 books. I've read, I've listened to 9 chapters. The fabric that I'm using is by Fortnite Fabrics. So it was a specialty fabric because they're no longer dyeing. So I felt like I needed a specialty thing to go on this. And so May 1st, I started Wishful Thinking by Long Dog Samplers. I went from 230 stitches to 444 stitches over the last week or 6 days. And I went from 2.82 to 8.27%. I have 7,478 stitches left. This is what the fabric looks like. It is a 28 count even weave, is all I know, in Herbert. And I am using Roxy Floss Co. So for every chapter, I'm using a different color of Roxy Floss. So I started in one corner. I either on my app where I roll dice and roll dice, pick numbers, and flip coins. So I flip a coin down or across. I flip a coin for down or across, I do the number counter, like to randomly pick a number for what column and or space I'm going to be in. So here we go. This is what it is. And column number 2 keeps getting called. So last week I had done this, the red, and the, so 11 points, acidic, and ain't misbehaving. And then there's this color, this color, this is one stitching, this is one stitching. Yeah, this was a long chapter. This was one stitching, this was one teeny tiny stitching, and this was one stitching down here. So each chapter. But it looks great because that's exactly how I wanted it to look. Very random. So hooray. In total, I have 39 different colors of Roxy Floss. So therefore, I am just listening to a chapter, 2 over 2. Listening to a chapter, 2 over 2 full cross. And going from there. This is going to still be worked on every day in May, and then it will be added to my future this week starting new plans. Okay, so let's clean all this up and see what's going to happen for the month of May. So before I ended up talking about plans, I just want to finish up for the week. So this is my to-do list. These are my focus projects until their goal is met. So Autumn Fairies, Beginner Seashell, Dragon in the Morning, Fairy Tale, Forever Friends, Hazel's World Giraffe, Never Quit. So I'm actually going to take that one off because I did finish it. Pokemon Starters, Positive Hanging, which I'll show you because I didn't work on it this week. Sad Fairy. And then my letters just keep getting Steampunk Portal, good grief, and Sunflower Cottage. So I did end up working on the green check marks this week. So next week I will definitely try and put some of the rest of those into a rotation. Pick up and try and work on. So I'm actually going to erase the finishes because now that we know they're finishes, and I'm going to end up putting in the stitch count remaining. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe not. Not today. Not today. Okay. So, that's the list. These are the ones that I worked on. So I'll make a note and write down the ones that I need to work on this week so that, you know, it changes. And then I was thinking, I was listening to and watching this morning, I was watching Stitching with Mel. She is out of Australia, and so she mainly focuses on full coverage. She's got a few non-full coverage, but mostly a full coverage stitcher. She decided that May is going to be a mostly monogamous May. And I feel like I was watching... Right. No, it was her. I felt like I was watching somebody else too that had the exact same idea, but obviously not. Okay, so I have... Let's turn down the brightness. Is that how it goes? Oh, please. Down. Down. Can you see it now? Okay, so not really, but okay. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different topics. They are stitch 2000 because I clearly can do it. Weird. It works. Anyways, okay. Stitch 2000, stitch 1000, stitch 500, and stitch 200. So the way I decided which projects to put on what wheel is right here. Sorry. Okay. I did not bring it over. Okay. So, apparently now I'm all about the boards. Okay, so it was all depending on the amount of stitches remaining. So the least amount of stitches remaining, under 20,000, are all in black. Anything between 20,000 and 40,000 are all in blue. Anything between 40,000 and 75,000 are in red, and then anything over 75,000 are in green. So there, on this board, I think I counted 26 projects. So we'll be working our way through those until I'm not doing this anymore. Okay, so one spin per section. So that's what this is. One spin per section. So we'll start out with the 2,000, and that is what I'm going to try and focus on my most energy this week, to get 2,000 stitches in. If it comes up with if it comes up with Autumn Fairies, we're just going to do it again. So here's the thing. So Hazel is going to get 2,000. I feel like I'm going to have to write this down. Hazel is going to get 2,000. Okay. And then, wow, everything is falling. Okay, so Hazel's going to get 2,000. That's what this looks like. Remember Hazel? So who's going to get 1,000? Vintage Christmas. That'll be fun. Vintage Christmas, actually, well, that's all right. It's okay. Vintage Christmas. Okay. I was thinking of Village Bookstore, which has almost no stitches on it, comparative. Okay, so Vintage Christmas, Hazel, for 500 will be Winter Cookie Party. And then for only 100 stitches, because these are all the ones that are just need progress and they're too big to think about. I should have totally gone the other way, but I didn't. Okay, so 200. Here we go. No. Whew. I didn't know I could do that. Okay. The Wise and the Brave. Oh, no, it's got to be green. Okay, it's got to be green. Wise and the Brave. Wise and the Brave. Okay, so I'm going to go pull those and pull the rest of everything that's going to be focused on. So, Hazel. Vintage Christmas. Good grief. Winter Cookie Party. No, lies. Yeah, Winter Cookie Party and the Wise and the Brave. I shall go find those. Thank you, Mel, for the idea. So other than Dizzy, if you're watching this, because I couldn't comment because I was watching on my tablet. Anyways, she has one main focus project that she's working on that she wants to get finished. She's at 61% or something. Anyways, it's looking great. You should go see it. It's of her dog. I think Stitches So Beautiful. Somebody charted it for her. Anyway, one of the big companies, and it looks great. And then she is going to want to decide how to figure out what else to work on for the week. She wants 2 other projects. I put mine on a wheel mill and spun, like you saw, broke up the categories. We'll see how that goes. Let's see if I can stick to it. I am getting better. We are gonna go pull those, so I'll be right back. Okay, so let's figure this out. I have a whole lot of charts and patterns and things beside me. So, let's start with my focus projects that are all on the bottom, of course. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 4. What's in there? Okay. Okay, so focusing on this. This is Long Dog Samplers, Wishful Thinking. Sad Fairy. So Sad Fairy is by Elena Lazareva. And this is going to get as much as work as I can. This is the as much work as I can situations. Stitches. And then Steampunk Portal is the stitch along from last year for Heaven and Earth Design. So that's where I am with this one. That's where I am with this one. That's where I am with this one. And I need to continue to focus on positive hanging, otherwise it's never going to get done. So that's out of this one. It's my only paper chart that we're going to be doing for a while. So I'm still only almost done the top half. All I have left is a bird over here, and then I will move on to the bottom half. That one is due for June 22nd. So, still time, but it's running out. And I think the bottom half is more stitch heavy, so we'll see how that goes. The next one up is Forever Friends. This is a quick stitch by Oleg Gavrilov. Oleg. I don't have my spreadsheet open anymore. Okay. Heaven and Earth Design. This is where we're at. It's 2,000 or 2,100 stitches. I can't remember. I think it's just 2,000. Okay, who's this? Oh, this is Fairy Tale by Dimensions. That's the other thing I was going to say. Stitchy Reese Pieces. Erica. Genius. If you haven't watched her yet, go check her out because everything she does is genius. But she was able to take... Oh, there's Skitters. She was able to take her dimensions and chart flosses, take them off of the normal things that they're on, chop them all off, and put them on thread cards. So much easier. And so what I had done was I was able to find this. This is Fairy Tale. I was able to find Fairy Tale on Etsy, and somebody had charted it, and thankfully they did it in DMC. So I just need to remember that these are not DMC when I put them back, because most of them are not. They're the Dimensions colors, but somebody had charted it in DMC, and so therefore it was like not just A plus B plus C plus D. It was, I had to make sure the symbol on the chart was the same as the symbol on the real chart, like the paper chart, and then I had to go over to the thread list colors, and then I had to make sure that this was, we're not doing any of the blends. Pattern Keeper didn't tell me about any of the blends, so, but here we are. Oh, I did work on this. Yeah, I did work on this. This is something I worked on. Anyway, because I was so excited that, but this is where I am. I can't tell you how many stitches, but this is all, this part right here is thanks to Erica and being able to sort out the colors onto a thread card. Genius. Anyway, I still have the paper copy for the reference just in case something mixes up, but way faster. Okay, so that's that. Last thing I'm going to need to focus on this week is Dragon in the Morning by Randall Spangler. And I'm 97% sure that's this, but I didn't open it to check, so hold please. So this is where we're at for that one. So all of these projects are as much as I can possibly stitch on them. Free moment, gotta stitch, you know, those kind of situations. No per se goal, just to be able to pick it up and say that I worked on it. So those are all not necessarily goal based stitching, they're just stitching when I have time. If I get to them. If I don't get to them, then there's always next week. Right, there's always next week. And that list of, oh, it's over there. That to-do list is a year-long project. Is a year-long, like, gotta finish it. So the one thing I am going to do, though, however, we're gonna move whoosh. We're gonna move you over there. I am gonna reach for the thing because we are going to take off Never Quit, and I'm going to replace it with See You Later. But the only way that I can do this, okay, Never Quit. Everybody else does it, why can't I? Okay, so we're gonna do, put that up there. And erase this one. Oh, green. Color coding, I tell you. So that gets a check mark. And then positive hanging. Apparently my rating today is bigger than it was the other day. Ooh, jeez. Okay, still a finish. That's still the goal. Erase it from there. What's it called? See You Later. Okay, Sad Fairy. Uh, 15. Oh, shish kebab. Well, now my thing has marker on it. Okay. Okay, so 15,000. 15,000. Okay, and then See You Later is next. So, oh dear. Okay, well, and then that's gonna say finish, and that's gonna say Steampunk Portal in a second. Okay, so, See You Later is going to be a finish. Because it's only got something like 2,000 left or something. And I also brought that over, by the way. Okay. Oh, shh. Shh. Wrong colors, people. Okay, what are we doing here? Sunflower Cottage. Oh no, what was it called? Steampunk Portal. Steampunk Portal in the blue. In the blue. Okay, so a revised list. So Autumn Fairies, Beginner Seashell, Dragon in the Morning, Fairy Tale, Forever Friends. So Dragon in the Morning, Fairy Tale, Forever Friends, Pokemon Starters, Sad Fairy, See You Later, Steampunk Portal. And I'll show you See You Later right now because I know I have not showed you that in a long time. This is by Happiness. It's on Etsy. And this will be also one of my takeout and work if I can have the time to pieces. I have far more than I thought I did. Holy bananas. Okay, we're just there, top to bottom. Ta-da! That's how far I am. That's all I know. So yes, if I get a chance, I'll bring it out. And then I can check mark it off the list. So, what's the plan now? What is the plan now? Okay, I'm going to show you. Do you think I can see the plan? I can't see the plan. That's because it's underneath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go with that. Which bags have I not shown you yet? These ones, right? Okay, so 2,000 stitches is going to be Hazel, and I ended up putting Hazel in this bag. This bag. So remember Hazel? The Hazel. So 2,000 stitches will be into Hazel when I show her next, hopefully. 2,000. Let's see where it gets to. Is it going to make it all the way down here? Actually, no, because you know why? She rode 2 by 2. We're going across. That's why. We're not going all the way down. All right. And then for the 1,000... it is going to be this one. This one is a vintage Christmas. It's by Stitches So Beautiful. It was one of their freebie charts over December. You can now purchase it on their website, I've heard. Okay, and this is where we're at. Ta-da! At 200 stitches. Woo! Okay. So that will gratefully need 1,000 stitches. So, good, good. Okay, so then what are we at? 500 stitches is Winter Cookie Party. And Winter Cookie Party is in this one, I think. Amy Stewart. This is just the regular... Is it the mini? Anyway, regular colors. Yeah, it is the mini. So that's where we're at. And what's left? The Wise and the Brave. Also, the 2026 Heaven and Earth Design stitch along this year. So, and that's where I am with that one. If I could hold it straight. Because my camera is angled, so, you know, why not? Okay, I think that's it for me. I don't really have any life update. As you can see, it is Sunday, so, yeah. Anyways, Sunday afternoon, and, this week has work and work and work and work. So we're starting outside this week. We didn't start outside last week. Our paving lot got redone. So Thursday and Friday last week was taking care of that. And what else? Nothing else super major this week. Just work. Work and work and work and work. All right. So I will see everybody later. Sparkle and shine. Have a great rest of your day. I will see everybody Sunday and or Monday. Most likely Monday next week. Okay, so bye everybody. Sparkle and shine. Have a great day.